Yep, we're still playing with the Electrola 106. And curiosity got the better of me, so I went and pulled a Victrola Orthophonic reproducer off of my 255. Now, as I said before, orthophonic reproducers, be they the HMV 5A and 5B and 16, or the Victrola Orthophonics, they'll fit right on the 106's tone arms. You can see right there, same isolator bushing on there, isolator gasket and brass bushing, fits right on. Which leads me to believe that at some point, Electrola either planned to put an orthophonic reproducer on this tone arm, or they did eventually. I don't know, because I've never actually seen a 106 with an orthophonic reproducer. But why would they have done that? Have made it to fit an orthophonic if they weren't going to put one on there? Well, let's play some. Who do we have here? This is Benny Goodman. Yeah, Benny Goodman. Blue Interlude. Let's hear what it sounds like on the 106 with the Victor Orthophonic reproducer. Now, a word about these. There were arguments back in the day about which was better. HMV's 5A and 5B, the Victrola, orthophonic reproducer, which this is. They're both excellent reproducers. Maybe there is some highly trained ear out there that can tell the difference between them, but I certainly can't. But they are excellent. They're only different. That's all. Not better or worse. They're different. Different needle, the needle bar design here with the ball bearings that Victor used is different. Victor had to pay royalties to use this design, the technology in it. I think to Westinghouse, but I could be wrong about that. This was not in-house Victor technology. They were taking advantage of somebody else's invention on this. For once, the Victor company did have to pay royalties on this. I don't believe HMV did, and that could have been the reason behind why they didn't want to use this design and went with their own. Don't know. But what I do know is when properly rebuilt, the Victor Exhibition is perfectly good and just as good as anything HMV had, and vice versa. People can argue all day and all night about which one's got the edge and all that, but I'm going to tell you right now, they're both excellent reproducers. And let's hear what this one sounds like on a 106. I'm going to have to back off a little bit because this is a loud tone needle. tell you, that sounds good enough. I'm almost considering leaving it on there. But we won't do that because it's needed elsewhere. I may not play the 255 too often, but I do play it. So, let's see. Of course, I could always rebuild another one. Another reproducer, that is. Let's change out the needle. And play side B, which is When I Go Adventuring. Which we can all see Buster the Cat is not doing today. Unless he's adventuring in Dreamland. He had a hard night hunting mice. Actually got one too. Okay.
I go a-dreamin', I go with you. And when I go a-dreamin', the moon is new. We're alone together through the night. All seems so right. You are delightful to me. When I go a-dreamin', the bench, the park, the time we spend a-schemin', the kiss at dark, and the way you look and say I love you thrill me when I go a-dreamin' with you.
There we go. The Orthophonic Electrola 106. Actually, I got that wrong, didn't I? When I go a-dreamin'. That is, not adventuring. When I go a-dreamin'. That's more appropriate to Buster over there. Yeah, he's definitely dreaming about something. Like peace and quiet, probably. Huh, bud? And this over here, I'm sure, has been noticed. I decided to do a little bit of a different machine this time. This is Victrola's excellent 2-60. Number 55,879, 1927. The 260 is a marvel of wooden construction. This is a solid hardwood box here. And I have the motor apart already. Here's the secret. Now, these motors all had the pancake style motor in them after the Victrola 35. They went, Victor redesigned the motor for low profile, so they would fit a case easier than the big ones that they had to use in the Victrola 50s and all of that. But here's the spring. Motor's already disassembled for cleaning. I haven't pulled the spring out yet, but left it in there just to show you what a nasty, dirty spring looks like. This isn't really that bad. The grease is somewhat liquid still. This will clean easily. It's not that bad. But this is a very big spring. That is about 1.25 inches, I believe, somewhere around there. That's like half the spring load of a Victor Victrola the 9th. Big. They went larger because they had some problems with weak springs in some of the other machines. They were small. You know, the springs were small, like the Victor Victrola 35, for instance. I've run into numerous 35s with weak springs because they're small springs, but they went big with this one. This was the premium portable machine in 1927. And they have some weaknesses with the use of pot metal, or zinc, as they called it. You can see this is pot metal and it is cracked and starting to swell and deteriorate. But worse is when this tonearm support. This tonearm support has actually already been fixed. It's been glued a couple of times. You can see there are cracks, but it's holding. All it has to do is support the tonearm, does that very well. As long as it keeps doing that, it's okay. Problems happen, though, when you try to transport these through the mail. You get it with 1,000 little pieces of tonearm support inside the case. Not good. I know it's happened. And under this board, let's put this very carefully off to the side so we don't break that tonearm support. Look at this marvel of wooden horn. I have it all disconnected. It doesn't normally come out that way. There are 3 screws holding it. I took it off to get all the 1,001 nails that were hiding underneath it. But look how they made this. Look at this construction. How much time and effort went into all of these individual pieces of wood. Look how many pieces of wood are right there. Look at this. And it has a wonderful sound. This machine used the number 4 reproducer. Also pot metal and almost always found in swollen, shattered condition. But you never know. I did find that Electrola one over there in usable condition, so sometimes you can find them, but very, very rarely. But look how they made this horn. This is just unbelievable. They could easily have made this out of tin, but for whatever reason, they decided to make it out of wood. Look at that case. Look how it's reinforced, gusseted. It's really, really high quality work. And those hinges, look at that. How they put that together. It's just really awesome quality that they had for these machines. And they only made them for a few years, and then they went to the 2-55. A little confusing, I know. They start with the 60, then they go downhill to the 255. I'm sure there's a reason, but I forget what the heck it is. The 255 was all metal construction, while this one was all wood. And the last of the premium portables was the 265, which actually was an assembled machine. It was just assembled at Camden out of parts that were made by outside suppliers. And the build quality, now the sound quality is excellent, but the build quality really isn't there with the 265, I'm sorry. I mean, they have a perfectly good motor, it works, but the materials used were cheap. You know, it just wasn't there. I've had a few of them, not impressed by them, except for the sound. The sound was pretty good, but because they were an orthophonic portable, just like the 255 was. This was the last of the premium acoustic portables. Well, acoustic, yes, but I mean non-orthophonic. It had the number 4. I like to put number 2s on them because they sound just as good with a number 2 as they do with a number 4. And it's a lot easier to find a number 2 than it is to find a number 4 in decent condition. I have all brass number 4s, yes. But, I like to use them on my big machines, my Victor Victrola 80, the 9s, all of those. I save them for those. I really don't like to have to, put one in a portable permanently. But it's just a quick look at it. And if you want to see the motor, oops, there's the motor. Not really that bad. It's got grease on it, but it's not horrible, except for the spring, the top of the spring barrel there. That's the pancake low-profile motor. Really nice job they did on these. Only issue I ever have with these motors is sometimes the set screws can work their way loose that hold in all the gears and shafts. And when that happens, the spring barrel can drop right out of it. You'll hear a thunk in the case. I've had that happen with the 35, the Victrola 35, and I've had it happen with a 255 once. Never had it happen with a 60 yet, but that's why you have to periodically open your machines, lubricate your motors properly, and check all the set screws to make sure nothing is working its way loose, because they will. Because these set screws, you really can't over tighten them. You have to be careful. You can't just super tighten them. You will snap them and strip them out and everything else. You have to snug them. And what happens then is that they can, over time, if you're not paying attention to it, they can loosen up and get away from you. You don't want that. I mean, you're not going to damage anything, but still, it's irritating when you have to open up a machine and take all the parts out and put it all back together again. Nice greasy springs. Let's see. How do you close one of these? Just like that. Boom. This one even has the original leather handle and the leather tab. You usually don't find either one of those on these, but... And the cover's not in bad shape either. This is a... You see that? This is a padded cover. So it has a tendency to crack, as you can see this little tiny fine cracks there. That's normal. That's texture. But they can sometimes split, the stuffing comes out, and then you're looking at a complete recover, which I don't like to get involved with. I like original stuff, so I'd rather have a few little boo-boos on the original, like in the cornerback, stuff like that, than deal with having a recovered, old thing should look old, not brand new. So, but there you go. Let's close those for the night. The Orthophonic 106, and there'll be more videos on this. I'm going to get more into it. Going to rebuild everything on it, so clean it all up nice. That'll be the next project. But for now, just a quick look at that Orthophonic. I was curious this morning at how that would sound. So I went and sought out the Orthophonic reproducer, stuck it on there, and had a look. Sounds good to me.